Hello everyone, my name is Zach and welcome to my channel. Amongst other things, I'm a reenactor and a jouster, and today I'm sharing with you my experience making a headcast. So you can see that I've sped up the footage of this quite a bit, and thank you to my brother for helping out doing this. I also got an old t-shirt, some old jeans and a balaclava to cover my head. What we're using to do this is some medical casting tape, sort of a nylon resin kind of thing, and you can see that we've both got gloves on. I really would recommend that if you decide to do this. I would never, let me just say at the beginning, I wouldn't choose to do a head cast using this stuff again. It works really well for body casts and leg casts and arm casts, but the head cast was not fun. Around about this point, I've realised that actually, while being able to see is useful, I don't want the cast to stick to my eyebrows. So I tried pulling the balaclava down over my eyes. Didn't quite work. You'll see that in a second we come up with another way of sorting it out. So anyway, we're having to do a cast of the head and shoulders because I'm hoping that this will allow me to have a grand bassinet built, which is good for jousting, and then with a separate visor for melee and things like that. You might have just seen that we actually ended up stuffing an extra glove in the eye slot to make sure that the bandage doesn't stick to my eyebrows there. And what we're making sure that we do as well is basically doing 2 layers on every part of it. 2 layers just to make sure that it's a nice strong cast, it holds its shape well, and that hopefully it will stick together through the getting it off stage. And here we come to the getting it off stage. We waited for 5 minutes for it to cast, to harden, and this part is the worst part. I have actually sped this up and cut bits out of it because from the moment that we first started recording here, this whole process took about 45 minutes, and most of that was trying to get out. It was not fun at all. I really would not recommend it. If I have to do a head cast again, then I think I'm going to look into the possibility of doing some kind of a scan and a 3D print for a head cast, because I'm not claustrophobic. I've been wearing armettes for a very long time, which is as close as you can get with a helmet, but this was a really uncomfortable feeling. Trying to get out. If you are going to do something like this, make sure you trust the person who is getting you out, and because obviously you can't do it all by yourself. You can see here that the shoulders actually came apart and came off, so we have to sort that out in a minute. And you can see it looks like I'm crying. I'm not crying, but I'm trying to force my face into the cast as much as possible to give as much room behind to fit the scissors in. So here we go. Here's the cast, and now we need to stick it back together. So we're using gaffer tape here. It doesn't stick to the casting material very well at all. So what we need to do is we need to wrap it all the way around and stick it to itself. And this is the only way we've found that made it possible to stick this together. It is possible to stick it with hot glue guns. That does seem to stick to it as well, but that doesn't work so well with a butted join like this one. That's better for maybe fixing something if it's delaminated a bit. That can help out. So you can see this cast is actually really tight in on my head, and that's good in a way. It was really difficult to cut this cast off of my head, and if you do decide to get a cast in this way, I would definitely make sure you put a little bit of padding around bony areas. The back of my skull was particularly unpleasant having a blade go around. So anyway, the shoulder cast broke up as we were trying to cut this off. So here we are doing the shoulder cast again. And we're going to need to redo this, and we're going to make sure that it's definitely 2 layers over all of the shoulder cast here. Hopefully that will give it a little bit more structural integrity and hold it together that little bit more. If you're planning on doing this, again, I cannot say this. The head cast was literally such a horrible experience. I really do not recommend doing a head cast. But for other parts of the body, perfectly good, useful, usable idea. So, but definitely buy this casting tape in bulk, and don't pay Amazon prices for it. See if you can find a local place for yourself in your country that sells it in bulk, because it was very expensive to get. I got a couple of reels from Amazon and it was really quite expensive, and I was worrying about how to use it and things like that. Then I found this place that sold it in bulk, and that was much more useful, because you do make mistakes. This isn't something that you've done before, if you're not a trained medical professional, then this is going to be a mistake that you'll make, and that's fine to make mistakes, but it's best if those mistakes don't cost an arm and a leg. So get it, buy in bulk, and make sure that you've got more than enough, rather than paying those high prime prices and worrying about wasting money there. So here we are. We've measured the how far it is from my chin to the center of my neck, and we're using a hot glue gun now to glue the neck into the head. Now, for a grand bassinet, this should work perfectly fine. I actually started jousting by borrowing a friend's grand bassinet, so it might be a few millimeters out, but a few millimeters shouldn't be a problem when you're talking about this sort of thing. There we go, seems about the right size. Now that it is all stuck together, I've got some, I'm not shaking it that fast, this is still time-lapsed. I've got some expanding foam, and you need to make sure it's stuck together really strongly, and you can see I've got down a tarpaulin, because expanding foam on wooden floor is going to upset everyone involved. So I'm doing this on a tarpaulin, filling it up with expanding foam just to make sure that it holds its shape, and it will actually stick quite well to the casting plaster when it's dry, and it will hold it together as well. So there we go. These are my experiences. Basically what I want to say is, don't do this. Don't do what I did. It was going to be a how-to video, and I hated the experience so much that I decided to say, no, don't do a head cast. Please, it's not pleasant. It's not fun at all. I'm going to see if there's another way that we can sort this out, and even though I won't need another way myself, I'll share that with you if I find a way of doing that. If you've got a way of getting a head cast without putting medical plaster around your head, then please let me know. You can see I'm just wrapping this in cling film, or plastic wrap if you're American. This is where the battery on my phone died when I was recording. So I'm just wrapping it in cling film or plastic wrap to make sure that if there is any leakage of the expanding foam, then that doesn't cause a problem and come out. This is something that I'd recommend doing whatever cast you're doing. Fill it with expanding foam and then wrap it in plastic wrap to make sure that you don't get leakages coming out. So there's the finished result. Do let me know what you think. If you've done something like this before, how have you found it? If you've done a headcast, how have you done it? Was there something that I did wrong that made this such a bad experience for me? Do leave a comment down below. Do like, share and subscribe and all of those good things. And I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you very much. Bye bye.